Hi, Kitchen Kings and Queens. Oh boy. So, I think excuse me. I'm not feeling well, which is why there hasn't been a video last week. Um, and there's a lot going on here. I had a party last week. You could still see this out because I pretty much just paused after that party because I just felt so bad. So, I'm going to make something that I was going to make for the party, which is guacamole. And I'm going to title this video Sad Guacamole because the ingredients that I'm using have gotten a little sad. And I'm going to show you them. And I'm very sad that I was so weak that I just couldn't utilize them. So we're going to see if we can squeeze the last little bit of life out of them. Okay, so we're going to make sad guacamole. Okay. Um, so I bought a bunch of avocados. I love avocado. Um, and what I do is I cut it, process it, and freeze it. And then it's always ready because avocado goes bad pretty quickly. So what I did was I cut the avocado in half. And how you do that is you run the knife around the pit. Then you hit the pit with the knife. Just give it a little twist. It'll come out. I knock it off. And then we have your two halves of your avocado. Um, these are really, these ones, this is perfect. This is like a very perfectly ripe avocado. These ones, this one's not bad. So I'm actually going to sort these into not so bad. That one's not so bad. And then the ones that are a little more, shall we say, ready for use. Um, so those are the ones I'm going to process and use now. Okay, so when I do my avocado, I cut it into cubes like that. So I do stripes that way, then I do stripes this way, and then I take a spoon and then I just scoop them out. Okay, and you have nice diced avocado. Okay, so we're gonna do that for these four avocado. And then I'm sorry. Oh god, this is really sad avocado because I'm like here dying. Everything else here is nearly dead. Oh god. I think this is a funny video. I really, this is not my top tier video, I would say. But I think it's fun. I hope you enjoy this because I I'm enjoying making light of this fiasco because I wanted to make avocado or guacamole for my party. That didn't happen. I did wind up making this sweet heat chicken that I got from another YouTuber in the crock pot. That was really good. I still have a ton of it because I couldn't eat. Um, so that's going to be my lunch. Maybe with the side of the guacamole. Okay. So, yeah, these actually don't look that bad. Um, they're not the best, but these are pretty ripe. They're pretty much there. It's okay. It's all gonna get mashed up, so you won't be able to tell the difference once that all happens. And the lemon or the lime juice will help to kind of pause the oxidation and give it a little freshness. Okay. All right. So there's our avocado. Okay. I'll do these later. I'm going to do them the same way, and I'm just going to put them in the freezer. So that way I have a nice bit of avocado. I had this very, very, very sad bunch of cilantro. I mean, this, talk about on its last leg. This thing is, every minute I'm a little more worried that this thing may be Dunsky. Yeah, why am I trying to take this off? I could just wiggle it off. So I'm going to use this for actually two things. I'm going to make tortilla soup. And when I make tortilla soup, you use the stems, okay, which is great because they have a ton of flavor in them, but they're not really pretty. I mean, I'm not going to tell you that this is pretty, but I'm going to put them aside and use them for the tortilla soup. So I'm just going to dice up this cilantro, and the good thing is it's kind of like dried. It's kind of halfway between fresh cilantro and dried cilantro. So we're just gonna put that in there, and again, hopefully the combination of these ingredients will revive each other. So we're just gonna give that kind of a head start and just let the avocado and cilantro get together. Okay, and I have 4 garlic cloves. Okay, they're not that bad. They're not really dead, so they should be fine. And oh, that one's already peeled. Okay, so usually I would use a fresh jalapeno. I don't have a fresh jalapeno. I have some pickled jalapenos. Again, going great with this like dead guacamole theme because this would actually be really fun for Halloween. That's a great idea. For Halloween, we'll maybe if this works out well, I'll do this for Halloween. How great would that be? Dead goat or zombie guacamole. It's even green like zombies. So that would be kind of a cool idea. Okay. So I like to keep my garlic chopped fairly coarse. Just because then you get a big chunk of garlic in there, and oh, that's good. Okay. All right. So then I have my pickled jalapenos, my preserved jalapenos here, and we're just gonna take, 2 spoonfuls or so, and bring them out here. Okay. And I don't really want to get like the pickle, the salty. I mean, I guess that's not bad. But I just want to really get the peppers in there. Okay. And I think these are kind of mild, these jalapenos. I don't remember them being very, very spicy. So that's going to kind of stink a little bit. I have an idea for that, actually. So just put that brine in there. Then we need a lime. Oh, where is it? I moved everything around. So everything's not where I used to know that it was. Okay, so I had this fossilized lime in the freezer or refrigerator, and there's a trick to get limes back to life, to revive them. You throw them in the microwave for a little bit, like 30 seconds. I put this in, and then you kind of massage it a little bit. So even if it's very hard, I mean, this thing was like a rock. Okay, it will come back to life. Okay, so you just got to get through that tough skin, and then there we go. Okay, and we're good. Okay, we got juice there. Look at that juice. Okay, so I'm gonna ream that lime, and there we go. And I like to get a little bit of the pulp in too, because that'll, just add to it all, kind of balances together. This would probably be pretty hard to zest these limes in this condition, but you can definitely juice them. Look at that. This thing. I was ready. I have another bag of limes, and I was like, oh god, this thing is gonna be. It's gonna be like a petrified. It's like a petrified lime, but nope. You just have to know the tricks. Okay, so there's your reanimation trick for that. Okay, and then one last item, we're gonna put some diced onion in there. Okay, now people add diced tomatoes. That's a good addition too. I have tomatoes for my tortilla soup, but I don't have them for. I didn't have enough. I barely have enough for the tortilla soup, so I don't want to use them in here. But you can add them. I don't usually. I'll be honest. I usually just do this. Um, it does give a nice contrast. It does harken back to the colors of the Mexican flag that way, because you have the white of the onion and the green of the avocado and the red of the tomato, but it doesn't need tomato. I don't think tomato adds a whole lot to it, to be honest with you. But if you really like fresh tomato and like the color scheme, you could also probably add some red chilies in there. Like that's probably would be nice. Then you could have that contrast. So but these are kind of the basics of the avocado or of the guacamole. Okay, so there's a nice heaping helping of onions. Okay, couple escapees here on the sides there. All right, and then we need some seasoning. Okay, so here's my little secret to um, using the uh, those jarred jalapenos that are not very spicy. I have a little ground jalapeno, and I got this when I was visiting a friend in Florida. Um, we got Badia seasonings all over up here. I cannot find this freaking ground jalapeno up here. So I am like guarding this thing with my life. I use it very sparingly, even though if I could get it, man, I would be using that stuff 24/7. But I don't know. I should use the internet and see if I could find it. But it's great. Some freshly ground pepper. Some salt. And I'm just going to kind of mix it, and then I'm going to see if I need any more salt. Because the brine from the jalapeno has some salt. So I don't know how that's going to impact the flavor. So I want to just make sure it's not too salty. But you do want like a very generous amount of salt because salt brings out the flavor in fat. And avocados are pretty much fat. They're, I don't know what these stupid people call good fat and bad fat, but they're supposedly good fat. They're delicious. I don't know that there's such a thing as good and bad, or good or bad fat, but you know, it's all marketing. Uh, so, okay. So, again, it's not that vibrant or guacamole that you would have if I use these, but it looks good. So let's give it a try. So I have some chips that I was going to use for the party, and I'm going to give this a little taste, see where we're at with levels. Okay. I think it needs a little bit more salt. That is pretty tasty. That is not bad at all. And the good thing about dips like this is the longer they sit, the better the flavors meld together. Let me give it a little bit better of a taste now. I'm tasting the cilantro, the little acid from the lime. Yeah, this is working. So this sad guacamole is making me pretty darn happy because I spent a lot of money on these avocados, and I literally was so sick. When I'm sick, I like to sleep. That's all I do. I just sleep, 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 sleep. And I was really worried because these avocados, when you buy avocados, if they're like soft, they're ready. They're fresh. They're ripe. If they're hard, you leave them out. And those are the ones, well, if I knew I was going to be sick, I didn't know I was going to be sick. But those are the ones that, you have a little leniency with. But if you need to make something like I did for a party, you want the ones that are soft. Okay? And you want them to be firm soft, not gushy. If they're gushy, that's when you're hitting one of these brown spots. So if they're really gushy, then they're pretty bad. Okay? So I hope you try my sad guacamole. Um, the recipe for the guacamole is exactly the same. Just use fresher ingredients. But these ingredients were, kind of at the end of their happiness, and they worked out fine. So don't be afraid to use things that don't look pretty, because they still may be good. Okay? So bye for now, Kitchen Kings and Queens. I'll be back and we'll make soup.